Hi, welcome to Redji Academy Kamarati. So, the previous class we have discussed about that transcription process we have completed. So, here we have already completed the topic is that DNA it is synthesized through mRNA, and mRNA it involves the synthesis process and it forms a protein. So this is central dogma of molecular biology we are discussing, and the DNA it synthesized into mRNA. The template strand of DNA they are transcribed into mRNA. That process is called transcription. That process is called transcription, and mRNA it is synthesized into proteins. That process is called translation. So the previous class we have discussed about the DNA to mRNA, and now the today topic is that translation process. Translation process. Here and the another name of translation process is that protein synthesis. Protein synthesis. The another name of translation process is that protein synthesis, and here this is the process of the process of polymerization of amino acids based according to the sequence of nucleotides on the mRNA to form a polypeptide chain. To form a polypeptide chain is called also translation process. Translation process. We know all that mRNA it carries the genetic information. So here this is the one process, the process of polymerization of amino acids according to the sequence of nucleotides in the mRNA to form a polypeptide chain is called also translation process. This is the definition of translation. The primary requirements of the translation process are primary requirements. Now we have to discussing about that. The primary requirements is that the first one is that ribosomes, and second one is that tRNA. Third requirement is mRNA, and fourth one is amino acid, and fifth one is enzymes, and sixth one ATP or GTP, and seventh one is activators. These are primary requirements. All these are involved in the process of translation. Now, so the first primary requirement is that ribosomes. The ribosomes is called the factories of proteins, and the first inventor, the scientist name is that Palade. Because of this ribosomes is called also Palade granules. Here the ribosomes are present in all prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So here the prokaryotic cells it present into a 70S, whereas in the eukaryotic cells it present into a 80S ribosomes. Here the ribosomes it made up of two types of the subunits, that is one is 50S and this is the 30S, whereas here also similarly here the 60S and 40S subunits. Both are associated with the two types of the subunit. So each subunit, so they held together in the presence of magnesium Mg2 plus. So when the concentration is Mg2 plus 0.001 moles. So here in this concentration, the two types of the subunits are activated and two subunits are held together. Right, this is the, and here the ribosomes are, they have contained that number of structural proteins and rRNAs. Here the 50S, it contains that 32 proteins, and 30S, it can contain that 21 proteins. And here the 70S ribosomes are present in a 23S rRNA and 16S rRNA and 5S rRNA is present in 70S ribosomes. Here in the eukaryotic ribosomes, this is also made of two subunits. One is that 60S and another one is the 40S. Here the 60S subunit, it can contain that 50 proteins, and here this is the 30 proteins. The small subunit contain that 30 proteins, and the large subunit it contain that 50 proteins. Here this 80S ribosomes, it can contain that here, that is the 20S rRNA and 18S rRNA, 5S square rRNA and 5.8 rRNA. So these types of the RNAs are present onto that eukaryotic cells, and here the prokaryotic cell, here 50S and 30S, this is the 23S, 16S, 5S rRNAs are present in this place. And here the large size of the subunit, they are, it contain that 3 sites. So for example, this is the single membrane bounded organelles. This is the large subunit, and this is the small subunit. This is the ribosomal structure, and the large subunit, it can contain the 3 sites. One is that E and P and A. E means exit site, P means peptidyl site, A means amino acyl site. Okay, this is the structure of ribosomes. These are the primary requirements of this process. And then the next one is that tRNA. tRNA means that is the transfer RNA. Second one is the tRNA. The another names of tRNA is that transfer RNA, adopter RNA, and soluble RNA. These are the 3 names, and the first time the tRNA, the invented scientist name is that Ole. The Ole scientist, the proposal that tRNA is that two-dimensional tRNA, that is the clover leaf model. Then after that, the scientist is the Krug. They have invented that three-dimensional model. That is the structure of inverted L shape, looking like this, like of the structure. We can present into that inverted L this is the L shape, and these are the two types of the tRNAs are present. Now we have to discussing about that. All I propose that tRNA. So this is the diagram of tRNA. This is the rough diagram of tRNA, and here this is the end of CCA, and this is the 3' CCN. Here it can present into the free form of OH is present, and here at this place, here this site is called amino acid binding site. Amino acid binding site. This is here at the place the hydroxyl group, it reacted with the amino group and attached with the CCA, and here the end the codons are it present into a CCA, and this is the one and here this, and it is called tau pi C, and here at this place it can contain that pseudo-uridine, and this is the loop. This loop it recognizes the ribosomes. It recognizes the ribosomes, and this is the variable arm, and this is anticodon loop. This is the anticodon loop, and the anticodon loop it recognizes the sequence of mRNA, and it can made up of complementary strand to this mRNA. A complementary strand to mRNA, and they are made in a complementary strands. And here this is the 5', and here this loop it is called D loop. Dihydrouridine is present, and here this loop it recognizes the amino acyl synthetase enzyme. Amino acyl synthetase enzyme. This loop is recognized. This is the structure of amino acid, and here this is the binding site of amino acids, and this is the tau pi C loop or pseudo-uridine loop, and variable arm. This is anticodon loop. This is D loop, and here this loop it recognizes the ribosomes, and here this loop D loop recognizes the amino acid synthetase enzymes. Right? This is the tRNA structure. And then now the next one is that mRNA. This is another requirement of in this process, that is mRNA. mRNA means that is the messenger RNA. Messenger RNA. So here means they carries the information, genetic information to DNA to RNA. And here this is the mRNA. In this mRNA, the template strand of DNA they transcribed into mRNA, that is called also mRNA. And here this is the structure of mRNA, the linear form of mRNA. So here in the all eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. Here the prokaryotic cells, the transcription process it carries inside of the cytoplasm, and eukaryotic cells in the nucleus. So here the prokaryotes, the transcription process in cytoplasm, it's synthesized in a cytoplasm, and here the mRNA it's synthesized in eukaryotes in the nucleus. When in the nucleus it transcribed DNA template strand to mRNA, then here in the eukaryotes the mRNA it can release with the help of nuclear pores, and it transferred to a cytoplasm. Okay, and here this is the mRNA structure, and the before of this is the 5' and 3' and This mRNA, it carries the genetic information in nucleotide sequence. That sequence is called codons. And here, before of this mRNA, the 5' end, it attached with the capping and tailing process or it carried. So here this is the tailing, and here the mRNA, it can contain that the another sequences are present before of end of this 5'. These regions is called UTR, untranslated sequences. Okay, UTR, and here this is also UTR, and here these capping process is used for that. Here the initiation, when the initiation process is carried out, that time here all the initiation complexes are attached at this place. It is a very useful. And here the tailing process is used for that. Here the stabilization of the mRNA. The mRNA here it starts with AUG. This is the AUG is called also start codon. This is the start codon, and here the mRNA, it can contain number of so here all these codons and this type of the codons are present. So this is the structure of mRNA, and here it carries the genetic information in the form of nucleotide sequences. Okay, so this is the mRNA. And here the next one is that amino acids. The next one is that amino acid. Here the amino acid, the formula, molecular formula is CH and COOH and NH2. Okay, this is the molecular formula of amino acids. Here the R means this is the alkyl group. NH2 means here this is the amino group. The COOH means carboxyl group are present. Here in the cytoplasm there are 20 types of amino acids are present. Mainly the 20 types of amino acids are present. So now we have to discussing about that 20 types of amino acid. Okay, these are the 20 types of amino acid. So 20 types of amino acids. The one is the valine, isoleucine, proline, glycine, alanine, leucine, phenylalanine, tryptophan, tyrosine, histidine, arginine, lysine, glutamate, aspartate, cytine, threonine, methionine, glutamine, asparagine and serine. These are 20 types of the amino acids are present in a cytoplasm. So all these type of the amino acids are present into a cytoplasm. And now the enzymes mainly in this translation process there are three types of the enzymes are involved. Amino acyl synthetase, this is one enzyme, and second one is the peptidyl transferase, and third one is the translocase. These are three types of the enzymes are involved in the translation process. And the final part is that activators, and here in the process here various types of activators are involved. Protein activators are involved. That is the first one is that initiation factors, that is IF1, IF2, IF3. These three are, it is called also initiation factors. And Second one is that elongation factor T and elongation factor G is involved. Elongation factor T, elongation factor G, this is also another one. And the third one is that releasing factors RF1, RF2 and RF3. These type of the factors are involved in this translation process, and all the process it required for the energy. So it required for the energy in the form of ATP or GTP. ATP or GTP. So here, when the ATP is hydrolyzed and it forming a ADP plus pyrophosphates. Here the GTP hydrolyzed and it forming a GDP plus pyrophosphates. So these also primary requirements of translation process. One is that tRNAs, mRNAs, ribosomes and amino acids, enzymes and energy activators. These are the 7 types of requirements are involved in the process. Now we have to discussing about the process of translation process. Translation process. Okay. So here the translation process again it can divided four parts. One is that activation of amino acids and its transfer to tRNA. This is the first step, and the second step is the initiation of polypeptide chain. This is the second step, and third step is that elongation of polypeptide chain. And the fourth process is that chain termination and release. The transcription process it contains the 4 steps. One is that activation of amino acids and its transfer to tRNA. And the second step is that initiation of polypeptide chain. Third step is that elongation of polypeptide chain. And fourth step is that the chain termination and release. These are the 4 steps involved in the translation process. Now the first step is that activation of amino acid. So here in the cytoplasm it can contain that inactive stage of amino acids are present in the cytoplasm. Inactive stage of amino acids are present. These are 20 types of amino acids are present. So these are inactive stage. So that time it is called also amino acid pool. That is called amino acid pool. And also here the cytoplasm it contains that various types of the enzymes. So that time what happened here, the mRNA it codes for some information and it gives that signals to in the cytoplasm. So here the complementary to tRNA. So here the first of all the amino acid is activated. So for example here the amino acid it activated in the presence of amino acyl synthetase enzyme plus ATP, and it forming a amino enzymatic complex. Amino acid enzymatic complex is formed. Then here the releasing product is the pyrophosphate. This is the first step, the activation of amino acids and its transfer to tRNA. Here the amino acid it activated in the presence of amino acyl synthetase enzyme, and this process it required energy here it utilize the required is that ATP and it form in a amino acid, this amino acyl adenylate complex. This is amino acyl adenylate complex are formed. So this is the enzymatic complex, amino acyl adenylate enzymatic complex is formed and released to the pyrophosphates. And then here the amino acyl second step, the amino acyl adenylate enzymatic complex, enzyme complex, it combined with the tRNA. So it combined with the tRNA. So the time what happened here, the amino acid it attached with this tRNA ends and forming amino acid tRNA. Then here the release of the enzymatic complex, it released into an enzyme into cytoplasm. All the enzymatic complex it released into a cytoplasm. So here this time this is amino acid, it is called also activated amino acids or recharged tRNA. This is called also recharged tRNA or activated amino acid tRNA. So here this is the activated tRNA and enzymes are released into a cytoplasm. So this is the first step. The activation is the first step, activation of amino acids in the presence of amino acid synthetase enzyme. And this process is required energy, that energy in the form of ATP, and it form in a amino acid acyl adenylate enzymatic complex is formed, then the pyrophosphate is released. Here the amino acid and enzymatic complex it reacts with the tRNA and form in a amino acid tRNA. This is activated tRNA. And the remaining all the enzymatic complex is released into a cytoplasm. So here this stage it is called also activation of amino acid. Okay. Then after that here all these complexes they are moved to ribosomal subunit. Okay. So here this is the activation of amino acid process. And then now here the second step is that the initiation of polypeptide chain. So here this is the second step. Second step, the initiation process. Here this is the mRNA. This is mRNA and this mRNA here at this place, this is the UTR sequences. Here also UTR sequences. In this UTR, above the mRNA, it contains the number of nucleotides. Here the first nucleotide is that AUG, UUU, and UCA, and UGC. Here it present in a UAA or UGA or UAG. So here these are the sequences of process. So initiation process, here the initiation of polypeptide chain according to the amino acid sequence and based on the sequence of nucleotide on the mRNA. Okay, here the AUG it gives the signals to that cytoplasm, and here the AUG it code for the amino acid is that methionine. Here the AUG it gives to signal to tRNA, and tRNA anticodon loop it made in a complementary strand to mRNA to tRNA. Okay, and here the tRNA initiated activated tRNA it attached with formal group of methionine. Methionine, and it is called F-met tRNA or formal methionine tRNA. Okay, so here all the activated tRNA. So for example here this is tRNA. All the cytoplasm it can present into a number of tRNAs are present. Here at the place it attached with the amino acid 1. Then after that all these tRNA it moves toward that ribosomal subunit. So this is the 30th subunit is present. So here all this is the ribosomal subunit and it combined with the ribosomal subunit. So before of that here the largest subunit here it attached with these mRNA. So here this is the mRNA, the large subunit it attached with the mRNA, and the large subunit it can contain the three sites. One is that E and P and A site. P and A site. So here the formyl methionine tRNA, all this complex it moves toward the mRNA strands. So here this is the anticodon loop. So for example here AUG codons are present. Here A means U and U means A and C. Okay, these are the complementary strand of tRNA, and here A binds with T, means instead of here thiamine, the tRNA it present into a uracil, and U means A and G means C. So here the complementary strand of the sequence of mRNA to tRNA. Right. So here all these complexes are moves toward this site, and the first tRNA it bind with B site, and remaining the next formyl methionine, formyl met tRNA, so they are bind to A site. Then after that the tRNAs it moves to P sites, and the ribosomal unit it moves toward this 5' to 3'. Okay, so here the tRNA it binds with A site, then after that the tRNA it moves to P site. Then after completion here the ribosome it moves towards 5' to 3'. 5' to 3'. So here for example all these subunit are it attached with this place. Then after that here this is the amino acid binding and 5' anticodon. So here UAC, here the anticodon, complementary codons are present. The loose bonds are forming between of these two mRNA and tRNA. Between of these two complementary strands or it bond with loose bonds, loose hydrogen bonds are formed. Loose hydrogen bonds are formed. Then this is the process is called initiation. So here the complex of this is the tRNA, formyl methionine complex, it moves towards the mRNA, so and it combined with the largest subunit. These total complex is called initiation complex. Initiation complex. All these process is facilitated by initiation factors. Initiation factors. And one more here, why the largest subunit before they are attached to that mRNA mix here, these it is useful for that unfolding of the linear mRNA. It is useful for that unfolding. Okay, so it is avoiding of unfolding of that mRNA. So before the largest subunits are they are attached in this mRNA. When here the initiation factors, how the initiation factors are facilitated this all this process means here the first here 30S subunit it combined with IF3 initiation factor and both are fused. Then after these combined protein factor it attached with IF1 factor. Okay, and this all the process it required for energy. Then the second step here, the IF2 initiation factor it combined with GTP, and here the GTP hydrolyzed and form in a GDP plus pyrophosphates. Here both of these two complexes are combined. Then all these are combined with the tRNA, and all this is called as initiation complex. All these complex are moves toward this largest subunit. So this process is called also initiation of polypeptide chain. Okay, and here initiation factor EFT, that is called also EFT. Okay, EFT factor also it used in this case, initiation factor. Okay, and the next one is that here elongation of polypeptide chain. Elongation of polypeptide chain. So when here the first tRNA it bind with the P site, then here all the cytoplasm, and here for example the UUU is there. This is also another complement codons. And these codon it gives to signals to cytoplasm, and one more amino acid is activated, then it's transferred to tRNA, then all the tRNA it combined with ribosomal subunits, and they are ready to bring the amino acid. So here the another tRNA it bind with here the second complementary strands. Second complementary strand. Okay, here the amino acid 2 is present. Okay, so here this is the elongation of polypeptide chain. Here the start codon is placed. Okay, and here the second amino acid and the tRNA it brings to the second codon, and these all it bind with here the A site. So here the UUU is present. Here these are complementary strands of U is that A is the complementary strands, and loose bonds are formed. So here what happened in this case? Here the polypeptide chain, formation of polypeptide chain between of two amino acids. Okay, here this is the elongation process. It takes place the bonding between formation of peptide bonds between of two amino acids. So that is the elongation process. All the process is facilitated by the elongation factor T. This is elongation factor T. So how the formation is bonding formation is formed means here. For example, here this is one amino acid, and this is the second amino acid. Everywhere here the bonding formation it formed means nitrogen and carbon between of these two complexes, or the formation is started. Here what happened here? The nitrogen and carboxylic group between of these two complexes or the bond is formed, and removal of water, and here the peptide bond is formed. So here that is the elongation and formation of polypeptide chain. So here the polypeptide bond is forming between of two amino acids in the N, nitrogen and carbon. Here this is the two amino acids, and here at this place, and here the nitrogen and the carboxylic group. Here the formation is, the peptide bond formation is carried out in this case. Here at this place, the water molecule released to outside and it forming a peptide bonds, and this is the elongation process. All this process is facilitated by that elongation EFT factor. EFT, the elongation factor EFT is used for this complex, and here the second formal methionine tRNA it attached with A site, then between of these two tRNAs it formation is completed. Then what happened here? The ribosome it moves to forward. It used to forward it to 5 prime to 3 prime. So all this process, the forwarding of ribosomes into 5 prime to 3 prime, this process is called translocation. Translocation. And here it involved in the enzyme is translocase, and also this movement is the facilitated factor is that EFG factor, and the formation of peptide bond the enzyme is used for that peptidyl transferase. Peptidyl transferase enzyme is used for this in this case. Okay, and this is the elongation of polypeptide chain. And finally, here the chain termination and release. So here that is the fourth step, and here the ribosomal subunits it forwarded, and when it reached that the nucleotide sequence of UAA, when it is reached on this UAA or UGA and UAG, these codons are stop codons. They restrict the signals to the cytoplasm and they stop the signals to the cytoplasm. So here these three codons is called stop codons. So these three codons they did not recognize any amino acid, and this all the processes facilitated the factors of releasing factor 1, releasing factor 2, releasing factor 3. So here the releasing factor 1 it recognized the UAA and UAG. UAA and UAG. RF2 it recognized the UAA and UGA. So here the RF3 it stimulating both of these bonding of these stop codons. Okay, and when here the ribosome it reaches to that UAA, so that time here the polypeptide chain is terminated. The polypeptide chain is terminated, and here all the amino acids here all the amino acids polypeptide chain. So like this amino acid A1 and A2, A3, A4, A5, all these polypeptide chain and released to the cytoplasm. Then after that it can changes and it modified various types, and then it entered into that nucleus and Golgi complex and endoplasmic reticulum and cytoplasms, and here all this is the translation process. Okay, and here mainly the translation process is that 4 steps: activation of amino acid and transfer to tRNA, and second one is that initiation of polypeptide chain, and third one is that elongation of polypeptide chain, and fourth one is that chain termination and release. Okay, right, thank you, and please subscribe my channel and like my videos, share my videos. Thank you.